Thanks for watching. Yeah, good job. Hello there. Yeah, because thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, Luke Wright is back. Guess what? We have got an adventure, a drive, a journey to an unknown place where Luke Wright is about to, with his amazing help from amazing dad, about to bring home a motorcycle. It's going to get Luke Wright gently back into motorcycling. He's going to be back on the road. Amazing. Let's get in that journey. Yeah.
It's showtime.
Hello everyone, Luke Wright. YouTube algorithm, if it picks up on anything it considers copyright and you get marked on your videos for it, it can be something as simple as 5 words from a song. That's how good the algorithms are now. How machine learning is able to do this. Yeah, we're on a bit of an adventure. Leave it as a surprise for you all, so I won't talk about what we're going to see. That is pretty epically, amazingly, oh my god, amazing, epic, and does involve the word D and ends in I. So, leave for you all to try and figure out what that could be. So yeah, it is not a sunny day, pretty cloudy, feels a little bit moist in the air, but it's not raining right now, so that's a good thing. Yeah, we're about to get ourselves onto what's called the M5, which is a very, very long, dedicated piece of road that goes through the county and then into the next county and then into the next county. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're in a very fast, powerful, capable van called Sport Van. It's a super fast van. Yeah. We've got a puppy. We've got our amazing dad. We've got a puppy. We've got a family together. Yeah, he's still in Thailand. We need to keep working as we can so she can be here with us and Mia. So then we'll be complete. Family will be complete and whole. A lot of traffic on the road.
Pressure's on though, because we have got don't worry, we've got 1 hour before somebody else gets to it.
Oh, we can.
Not 1 hour from now, 1 hour from our arrival. If we are late, we get stuck in traffic, if anything slows us down, we lose.
Oh, God.
That's stressful.
Luke Wright will just break down, have a mental breakdown, so
60 minutes.
what we're about to meet, so to give you all a bit of history. So Ducati have finished, they've moved away from carburetors, they're starting to get into fuel injection. It's the Italians, so they don't have the R&D and the power of Kawasaki or BMW, so it's Italian fuel injection and computer controlled ignition. So this is when Ducati was just starting to get into that. Ducati were at a point where they were very close to not existing as a company anymore, that they were so poor and they'd spent so much and they weren't making enough sales, it could have been the end of Ducati as a brand, as a company. Like BSA died, and now BSA are back, and BSA have gone to shit, and they build horrible motorcycles, and that seem to have a lot of problems because just
I've never had a motorcycle where the lens is rolled off.
That would never happen on a Japanese, not even on the Suzuki. That's bad, isn't it? That's really bad. And the worst thing is the fact that the owners are accepting these faults as like, yeah, well, fine, yeah, like it's normal, like it's okay. And that's the worst part. And you wonder if some of it's just down to that fact that they still believe that BSA is somehow a British brand, so they think it's negative, and they point out all the problems and the flaws, all the things that are going wrong.
Mobile phones that didn't function properly and didn't spell for the going to be a rubber. Yeah. So the product that's only partially capable of their policy. But yeah, go back to your summary about Ducati.
So Ducati were very close to ending, and Ducati they were very funny on what they were doing, but it was quite interesting because what they did was they had an air-cooled L-twin, and then they had the superbike Ducati 999 engines. So Ducati decided that they were going to build the liquid-cooled Super Naked, which was the S4R, and then they were going to build an air-cooled version. But Ducati only did it for a limited amount of time, and Ducati kind of learnt from that, because what happened is Ducati was so close to ending, and then thank the motorcycle gods, the Germans came along and went, we're gonna save you, and we're the Germans, and we're going to show you how to build motorcycles properly, and we're gonna kick ass. And Germans came along and were starting to transform Ducati into something super wonderful, and saw all of the reliabilities and problems of the past. So that's why what you started to see was after 2009, Ducati built the Street Fighter 1098, and then stuck with the Monster 11 Super Naked. So just before 2009, it was a very scary time for Ducati, but it doesn't mean Ducati were building. It didn't mean that they were building bad motorcycles. Like every part of Ducati was bad. It wasn't like that. Ducati had the Monster 600, and Luke Rides is very lucky that he's one of the very few that got this a Monster 600 that's been tuned, and the owner loves his Monster. It runs really well, stops on the button every time, really good. So Ducati it wasn't like they built lots of everything was bad about Ducati. And the thing was Ducati it was really weird that they made liquid-cooled Super Naked, and then they made the air-cooled Monster.
Do you know what engine they used in the liquid-cooled Super Naked?
The 999 engine.
916 engine, yeah. Pretty much the same thing.
Oh.
The 999 engine's a little bit more modern. So they used the Ducati 916 from the 1990s. They used that engine in the S4R. And it's a very powerful thing. I mean, it's 100 horsepower at the rear wheel. Crazy power. But technically, a superbike, and that was the downfall. It's not really, I'm learning it wrong. That was the problem, the S4Rs. It's like looking after a superbike. Twin overhead cam, lots more complexity and sensors. see too many S4Rs around because it costs so much to run. Maintenance wise. Exotic, yes. Most people spend their money draping them in carbon fibre, which is fine, but the S4Rs, I've never actually ridden one, and I've never actually known one, only because of how technical it is.
And those of you that are going to say, but yeah, it's a superbike engine, that's what you would expect. It's not just that. It's the fact that because it's early, it's pre-German Ducati. The Ducati didn't build it like the Japanese superbikes. They built it in their own way, and it was very complex. And the Desmotronic, valve system that Ducati used, their particular valve system. You don't see many of them. The S4Rs, they are very rare. They're heavy as well, because you've got that massive superbike engine. And the Germans, it was interesting how Germans were teaching Ducati about geometry. They were teaching Ducati about how to lighten the swing arm and how to lighten the motorcycle, but still make make more torque, yet make more power and bigger Brembo brakes and more sophisticated braking system at Brembo. That's because it was before Audi and Volkswagen. The V4Rs were heavy. So Ducati decided that they were going to make an air-cooled version of their Super Naked. But they only built it between 2005 and 2008. It was a limited production run. And that was one of the things that was killing Ducati, because they were making all these different versions of their motorcycles in quite a short time. And because Ducati don't make the sales like the Japanese and BMWs, you're going to see more Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki's on the road than you are at Ducati. You imagine how that eats into your profit margins, and then how that starts sucking up money, and Ducati they weren't managing the money very well, spending it so much on having all these newer models in such a short space of time. And then the Germans came along and started teaching Ducati, hey, have one version of the Monster, hey, have one version of your superbike, and that's it. And what Luke Price means by that is, imagine you have a naked lineup of bikes. You're going to have a superbike version of your naked bike, Super Naked. But then you're going to have another Super Naked. So you can have two Super Nakeds. And you're going to sell that and advertise two Super. See how confusing that is? If you have two Super Nakeds, everybody understands one. Like, there is one S1000R, there's one Z1000, there's one ZH2, there's one Street Fighter, which is now Ducati Super Naked, Street Fighter V4. There's just one from every brand. Ducati making multiples, and then of course they made the cheaper, lighter versions of the multiple Super Nakeds in that short space of time. But it's very interesting. So this is between 2005 and 2008. And what Ducati did was they took their air-cooled engines and then placed them in the Monster, and they gave it single-sided swing arm, Brembos up front, latest geometry, the latest fuel injection and computer control suspension, fully adjustable suspension. Starts first. I might have to Google it. But it was very good suspension. Thanks. Brembo rear calipers. which was quite interesting, a high-rise exhaust system. Ducati it's like they really cherished this model. Like, it was just something really special that they wanted to get out there for air-cooled naked bikes. And the Ducati didn't sell many of them. They were very rare. Not many people knew about them, and they were expensive, because this was like Ducati. This is like, if you don't want the complexities of the S4R super naked, then have this, but we're going to drape it and lots of loveliness, and it's like so it's pretty exciting. And this is it's a belt drive as well, because this was before Ducati started realising actually we're going to start moving to chain drive for our engines, because the Ducati have already done it now. They've done it with the multi-strider V4. That's the chain drive on the valves, which is pretty cool. So yeah, this is still from the time when Ducati were just purely using belts. But it's pretty interesting. Luke Rise has met belt drive. He met it with the Monster 1100 Evo Super Naked. And wow, how fast that engine spins up. I mean, it's just banging the way. You can't put it into words. It is. Can't put it into words. You have to experience it. Have to experience it. You have to. It's very interesting how fast the engine spins up. Like a superbike, how fast the engine just spins up. It wants to race, it wants to go really, really fast. But yeah, it's quite interesting story. 100 horsepower for what we're about to meet. Back in the day, I didn't have no fairings. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of torque. Something that the internet does talk about is because between 2005 and 2008, Ducati were trying to meet the emission rules, the emission regulations at the time. The one we're about to meet, for some reason, the engine, that particular super naked engine, runs lean. It runs lean. It was a way of Ducati getting it through the emission rules at the time to make the engine burn cleaner. I can't remember. I think the engine may have 2 spark plugs. It's very exotic. It is a hark back to how the Super Naked used to be. So there is no anti-lock brakes, no ABS. Don't get that. There's no traction control. Remember the Monster 1100 Evo Super Naked? That had ABS and traction control. So that was just as the Germans. The first German underneath Ducatis coming out. This is, by today's standards, you could say this Ducati Super Naked is analog. It's kind of analog, but so no ABS. This particular Super Naked engine as well. There's a lot of talk about how that engine is quite lumpy. It doesn't like to go below 3,000 RPM to 4,000 RPM. It doesn't like going slow. But part of that is going to be how the engine is tuned, because from the factory, Ducati had to make the engine run leaner for emissions. That doesn't help. If you can find a remapped, tuned version of this Ducati Super Naked, that is the one to have, because it takes away all the crap emissions does to strangle the engine to make it burn, put out less emissions, actually make the engine run properly, like how it was supposed to be. Before Ducati went, damn it, now I have to sell this bike. They had to modify the engine to meet emission regulations, and they are so bad nowadays now. I mean, if you buy a modern Super Naked, they're so strangled. It's like when Luke rides went his first superbike, Kawasaki ZX-10R. Oh, that's like it's like Blackpool. Oh my god, it's like sculpture. Oh, I'm so excited. And you met the factory version from Ducati. Kawasaki. Bloody hell. Superbike, yes. Just, she wants to race. But you always felt like when you opened the throttle, there was that delay. There was that. The engine's, she's doing everything she can to spin up, but it's like she's just been slowed down. And you'll go, why would a factory do, why would you say these things? It's been tuned by the factory. You learn this from experience, from riding and meeting motorcycles and learning about motorcycles and then experiencing engines, and you get a feel of when an engine is not happy and it's been strangled to one that's unlocked, to one that's now free. And then Luke Ride's met his Dynojet ZXR Superbike and frightened because she just wants to wheelie and do 200 miles an hour everywhere. Right now 70 miles an hour should be ticking over. It's amazing what a tune will do to, which is quite interesting. So this is Ducati Super Naked, fuel injected. So it does have an onboard computer. So it does have the ability to be renamed. This Ducati Super Naked is so rare, you can't. If you search online, you can't even buy a new Termagoni racing system. Funny enough, you can actually still buy Termagoni pipes on Street Fighter 1098, which is about 2009 to 2011. Don't understand how that works, because that's quite old. But yeah, the Termagoni system also came with the Ducati racing computer, the ECU. But no, you can't buy those systems anymore. All you can do is just look every day to find maybe a second-hand set. Yeah. And you hope. But what's interesting is this one we're about to meet. It's very interesting. Oh, getting all excited. Oh, so rare. That's wow. And the Ducati we're about to meet is among the last of the air-cooled Super Nakeds. Among the last. So it's very special. It's very special on the world of motorcycles. You'd be hard pressed to find. And do you know, there's just something, it's like, there's just something about having an air-cooled, massive engine like the R19 Racer. Now that is so epic and fun to ride at slower speeds compared to the Exotica like ZX-R Superbike. And you just got this massive engine, and there's something about how, when you have a water-cooled engine, how it dampens the mechanical noises that you hear. And it just dampens it. And then you hear with the Racer, the R9's Racers as an example, you hear all the noises, you hear the thump, thump, thump of the engines, the raspiness as well. because there's no water jacket dampening any noises of what the engine's doing. So yeah, this is pretty interesting, and we'd be one of the very few motovloggers, one of the very few to have this particular Ducati from this era, from this time, between 2005 to 2008. And you know, me and Dad, if we can save a motorcycle, do try, and it is nice to be able to save a motorcycle from, you know, not getting any use, to just being left on the side, being left to rot away in the road. To actually save something like this, to slowly begin to bring up that. First of all, making sure she's ready for the road, and then just little things, you know. Your bride's already thinking of the private plane. He's going to save up towards that. It's going to be epic plates when he's ready. You're like, everyone will go, oh my god, plates are epic. Yeah. Big bride's misses. You can't put it into words how much missing motorcycling, missing your own motorcycles to be back on, that you get excited about it, you go, ooh, that you get your emotions going, that gets your brain going, that makes you go, oh my god, so great. Yeah, and you haven't seen Luke ride the Devon advanced motorcyclist, the advanced bikers. It was always such an experience, such an adventure, so cool to go on an adventure with fellow bikers, with fellow advanced bikers, motorcyclists, and go out there and know that there's a world out there, and to see new things and experience new things and be around new things, and to be with fellow bikers and to talk about motorcycles, because you get like the old biker, that advanced motorcyclist, advanced biker that will want to talk about what you're riding. Like when Luke Rice took the ZX10R Superbike Exotica to, it was the anniversary of the group, and even though advanced motorcyclists went, whoa, look at that, it was like, whoa, that's a weapon. But, whoa. Even they took an interest in that. I don't think they've seen a ZX10, and just knowing that there are adventures to go out on. You know, when you're working every day, and you're helping, and you're working every day, you need an adventure. It just starts to go damn stands. You get very. You need that adventure. You need to know there's some adventure to go out and do, and look forward to, and go and do. So remind you there's a world out there. It's something. It's like, imagine having something that you really enjoy, love, you really. That gets you excited, that gets you smiling, that gets you go, wow! And then having that taken away. Not just for a day or two, not for a week, not for 2 weeks, not for 3 weeks. 12 months, a year and a half. Imagine that being taken away from you. And you're still working, and you're still paying your electric, and your food, and your gas, and your internet, and you just work and work and work and work and work. Need an adventure. So that's what it's like. That's to give you an idea of what it's like for Luke Rides. And he still needs to go to Thailand. He still needs to be with his Meeyaradee. Because he's getting older. That's hurting him, right? He's getting older. Anyways, back to Ducati. So this Super Naked was a limited production run. You saw a lot more of the 800cc, so a lot more of them. To actually meet the Super Naked, there were very few of them, mate. It's quite interesting to just look at the way it has that fly screen. That's BMW Motorrad. Hello, BMW Motorrad. Oh yeah, because we're gonna be in that area. Makes you wonder. BMW Motorrad and coffee, or tea, because they do have tea too. This is the big draft on. He does miss the advanced motorcyclists. There was a point. Was this meeting this year where anxiety just got so bad, so my heart was beating, and I was really stressed, and I was feeling really upset. It was I was, part of me was just wanting to get up and leave. I didn't feel I was a biker, I didn't feel I was a motorcyclist.
Oh my god.
That's how much not riding motorcycles affects your brain. And they were trying to be so nice to me, even an advanced biker next to me that I didn't know who he was or I didn't know anything about him. Was like, hey, how are you? And wanted to chat, and I was like, I'm looking at him going, but I'm not riding motorcycles. Family has been keeping the rides going. And it's amazing, Dad. Meeyaradee and Hero. Didn't have those things, you'd have a mental breakdown. Traffic is put bad. That's about all I can think of on the Ducati Super Naked. And of course, Ducati Red. All Ducati should be red. Red is Ducati's colour. That is their colour. Ducati is red. So red, amazing. And it hasn't had the tail chopped off. What you find with older motorcycles, say before 2010, is because they didn't have a lot of support. Remember, the internet was still growing. eBay and Amazon, the things that we use and take for granted, those things were still developing. eBay was still developing. So what we found before 2010 was there was not many companies that had accessories. That had accessories for motorcycles. So this one actually has her original Ducati tail tidy. The price has on the search board. He's found so far Chinese tail tidies for this Ducati Super Naked. There's no way she's getting a Chinese tail tidy. No goddamn way. Not Chinese on Ducati. No goddamn way. So yeah. That doesn't matter. It's the motorcycle that matters. It's the what she is. Wow, is that turbo?
It's interference from the alternator, the subwoofer.
things we need to do with the Ducati is connect it with the we have no history, as far as I'm aware, roads to work on the belts. It does have history in place.
Has history in place. Belts being on.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. Huh, that's good.
What the belts need doing, I don't care what anyone says they're being done. Just the best insurance policy you can ever have.
Because the belt drive, they're very different. So just like with everything, things wear, but a chain can take a lot of stress, can take a lot of wear. So you notice with German or Japanese that don't really, the manufacturers of Kawasaki don't talk about you needing to change the chain on your engine, because they're very strong. But Ducati are very different. They use rubber to drive the valves, which is called belt drive. Belt drives, they're more sensitive, and they don't have the strength of a chain. So our belts do wear. And the thing is that actually has been times where a belts have actually snapped on a Ducati. If the belts snap, what happens is then the valves are not under control, and they would just open just as the cylinder's going up, and then smack, and you have damaged valves, which is a huge repair, assuming the cylinder's even okay. So yeah, you can't. Whatever you do, if you have a Ducati, you must change the belts. On this Ducati Super Naked from 2005 to 2008, it is every 2 years.
2 years, 12,000 miles, whichever comes sooner.
Remember that. You have to do it. So what you can do, thanks to modern technology, is you can put, say, in your Google Calendar, figure out when the belts will change. Because hopefully the belts will also, when they would, if you're changing the belts, mark how many miles are on the speedo engine cluster, and put those miles in your diary. And just remember to check your diary every so often. Before you take your Ducati Super Naked out for a ride, check your diary and monitor how many miles that you're doing. So that you just got that peace of mind to know I need to change my belt, rather than being lazy, leaving it, and then, imagine the genuine Ducati belts are £130. That's worth spending when you think that if the engine can be repaired, if the belts can snap, that will run into more than £1,000. Spend £130. Just do it. Just do it. Just don't buy the Ducati until you've done it. Just don't. And then some of you will say, "Oh, why own a Ducati then? If you have to do that." It's not about that. It's about the motorcycle. It's about what she is. It's about the sound that the engine makes, the feeling, the handling, how she rides. It's about the engine. Don't worry about the fact that the belts need changing. As long as you monitor when the belts are last changed, or how many miles that you're doing, then great. Just monitor that. But it's what Ducati bring. So the noise that this Ducati Super Naked makes, oh my god, it's boom, amazing. That's something that you get with that having a big Ducati. You get that noise and just the styling and the fact that she's different and she's very interesting. A limited production run, a certain year of production run. You know, very few of these Ducatis were made. And this was just when Ducati was so close to failing as a company, having no money, being that's it, Ducati don't exist, and they were very close to that point. So in a way, it's like these motorcycles that helped the brand stay alive long enough for the Germans to come along and go, we're gonna save you and make you wonderful. Whoa. And then the Germans came on. It's always funny when you got to tell a Ducati rider that maybe I just bought the Ducati to show off. So look at me, and you go, do you know that's German underneath? And they're like, oh no, it's a Ducati though. And you're like, no, that's German underneath. For some reason, some Ducati owners don't like that. And it's like, why? Because it's thanks to the Germans that you have such an amazing motorcycle. Like the BMW R19. Wow, you have to ride one. They're amazing to ride. They're just steering, stability, the way that she flicks, the way she leans over so fast and so well, and you just have that confidence to push on. Don't take having belts as why you should own a Ducati. It's just a part of it's like Kawasaki will say you need to do certain repairs or maintenance at a certain amount of miles. And every motorcycle will have its thing.
Look at those screws coming loose from the intake housing for the H2s. And they're getting chewed up into the impeller. I mean, no brand's perfect. We love a Kawasaki here. But I think it's time for a to. I've got us down to 55 minutes.
That's so close. I mean that's what Luke Wright is actually thinking of, taking the Z1000SX. If I can save up enough. Remember, still got to go to Thailand, still got to be with my Meeyaradee. So if I can, after that, I've saved up enough. I really like the Z900. Just that classic Kawasaki, because you can buy full acapulco systems for them, no baffle, 900cc, Kawasaki. It's just a really interesting motorcycle. The ZH2s, the problem they're just very heavy. They're just very heavy. And it's kind of, once you have this Ducati Super Naked, when you look at motorcycles, the thing is, is if you already have a Super Naked, it's kind of tricky to say you have to. Because if you look at your fleet of motorcycles, what you've got to think about is each one brings something different. Something unique, something interesting for you. But if you have two motorcycles in the same class, yeah, it's kind of like, It rides at them. Hopefully it rides one of their repeats at H2 SE. Because that one has the electronic suspension, shower, and appraisals, Brembos. Also, it's just nice styling changes by Kawasaki to say, hey, this is the SE, this is the daddy, this is the special version. So, we're going to drink our tea, we're going to take a break, and we're going to let you know once we're approaching Bristol how exciting is this. This is a very exciting day. It's like, oh my god! How long has it been since he's been like that? He's going to be smiling. And Luke Wright next week has a meeting. A meeting with the Devon Advanced motorcyclists about safety, and it's about airbags. Because you can buy jackets now in a motorcycle world that have built-in airbags, which is quite interesting. But it's in a place where Luke Wright doesn't know, so he won't have a sat-nav. Know how to get there on the motorcycle. You may have to take smart car. Alas, you can take the motorcycle.
It's just got navigation.
Let's do Tina. Catch you later. Hello everyone, Luke Wright. So we're now crossing the main bridge over the river that goes out into the estuary. This is Avon Docks, major dockyard for Bristol. So a lot of ships, a lot of big commercial ships from different places in the world travel here. This is also a hub where a lot of car manufacturers bring their new cars. So that's BMW, Honda, Audi. Don't know about Peugeot. Peugeot's a big. The docks are going. Peugeot is just crap. Volkswagen, Toyota, where they bring a lot of the new cars into these massive car parks that the Avon Docks have. They have these dedicated massive car parks where a lot of the cars are then dropped off, and then the new cars will be allocated to which dealerships that they're going to. So these docks are pretty important in the world of docks. Yeah, we're going through Bristol. This is like outskirts Bristol. This is like outside Bristol. Got a lot of long haulers here that drive their trucks from part of the country to another. Quite a hard life if you think of a truck driver. You don't have a place where you can just stop and go to the bathroom when you want to. You're timed on how long you are driving the truck on. You've got to try and drive the truck to then get to where you're going at a certain time. So your employer will always be watching if you're very slow at driving the truck or you're quite fast at driving the truck. Yeah, that's why you see a lot of truck drivers. You know, you don't see them in shirts, do you? You just see them in t-shirts and raggedy clothes because of the work that they do. Yeah, it's quite a hard life, really. To work for what, £12 an hour, £10 an hour. £11 an hour. By the way, you get taxed on that, so it's not really £12 an hour, you get less than that. Just drive the truck. All sorts of different traffic here. And once you go past Bristol, you go on to the M6 or towards Birmingham. North or towards London, where you start seeing some pretty interesting things. You start seeing supercars, or you start seeing the odd junior supercar. Look at that. That is a light reconnaissance. I don't know if maybe it's a Warrior. It's either a Warrior or there was a different armoured vehicle that Army were using. Started with R. That looks pretty scary if you have that barreling down at you. All it takes is one shot and you're dead. That thing will blow you to pieces. We're nearly there. 13 minutes roughly. I'm about to meet this Ducati. Oh damn it, I said Ducati, damn it! Okay, no more hints for you all. You'll learn. You'll get to know what this is all about soon.
Cool.
Let's drink more. I can't drink more tea. I need to save it. Hello everyone, Luke Grimes. We are literally 9 minutes away, roughly, from the motorcycle that starts with T and ends in I. So close. So close now. Nearly there. Look at that road, it's just like... No, it's not. And the rain has stopped. And the sky is cloudy. But the rain has stopped. That's me. Let's see what we find. So close. Wait a second. Wow, Kawasaki. The sidecar. Different. We're so close now.
Thanks for watching everybody, Luke Rides. It was quite a drive, but it was along the M5, so that was quite nice. And yeah, you're about to find out what it is on the next episode of what is we've brought home. And Luke Rides can tell you that it is special. Special, and very few of them are made. And is very red. Doesn't that necessarily mean it's a D. Anyways, thanks for watching.
The way we...
The little rascal has spirit. As was it?
This is the end of the trail for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, kid.